right? Eternal spring, even though it's nice, cool summer morning here in one of my favorite areas of Earth, socially known as one of the metro parks here in the great state of Michigan. Always looking for quiet corners where it's just me and the elementals, like when I'm within, meaning internally. And that's one of the things we were discussing, because I said I like, my solitude, you know, physically, socially speaking. And like I said, it took a lot of work to, I would say, verbalize. And as soon as I say that, here comes somebody pulling up. I thought I was good. I ain't no Instagram type person yet, YouTube person. You know what I'm saying? Just comfortable recording themselves everywhere. Be on my P's and Q's whenever there's another human around. And I was just about to say that was the work that I did, realizing why I'm so isolative. And again, it's long before I was even aware of the trauma, biopsychosocial impact of, my experiences growing up, the families that raised me in the city that I'm from, you know. So, yeah, you're talking about, like I said once before, on the path of finishing this work, or at least getting to this point, it's like I don't share my peace when I'm around other humans. I sacrifice it. And like I said, the best definition to give as to why that's the case is, again, the reality of what we call psychic empaths. I just absorb everybody's emotion, their energy, and their presence. That's what makes me good at all of the roles I've played in people's lives, sometimes overly good, because it's always to my detriment. So, as I process all of that, that was like the first thing. So when I'm by myself, it's like, I'm as free of that as I can be, beyond those that, I care for, I always carry with me. Or when I tap in, so I don't tap in much. And that's like the best way to explain that, when you talk about other psychic senses. It's just like, especially in this country and in these cultures and families in it, the vast majority of us still respect people's homes. And not only do we respect their homes, we respect their rooms in their home. So we ain't just disrespecting it or coming up in it, taking stuff, and preying on people. And that's that way because that's how it is in the world of quantum and psychic connections, you know? So, especially like the intimate connections I've had or experienced this natural form of bonding and communication. It's like down here, you know, the human body itself, and definitely some areas of the regressive society, they don't, accept or acknowledge or can even comprehend that. So once again, so I like to be isolative and have to show and prove if you want to be in my life that way. And to this point, ain't no biopod human from any area or sector of society, known or unknown, that can sustain that with me. So hence, this is where I am. So it's talking about that. Thankfully I'm so good at my job and that keeps me socialized and effective. And, the friends, family, women that did love me once upon a time, they kept me engaged as well. But, the beginning and the end of me since childhood has been that, go on, Douglas. So, yeah. And I would say the second thing, because that's what's been going on lately, as things been going on, like the other social reason why, because again, at least the people I grew up around, like I said, since childhood, I came up with that term intellectual ceiling. I was a kid that, like I said, my metacognition kicked in. Metacognition meaning thinking of my thinking, being aware of what I'm aware of, It's always been, expansive, the origin and purpose of life, the truth of all things. And, coming from the household led by my grandmother, who was a Christian minister, you know, that only meant the truth of God, So like I said, I've said it time and again, and I've always been comfortable with it because I've always been this way. It's just the roles that I have to play, meeting people where they are and having to be in people's lives, wanting to be in people's lives, it's kind of always limiting, you know, with all due respect. But, that's part of it. So more people, families coming, sitting here like I'm a YouTuber. I'm going to switch it off, though, and pick up my book and jump on a session or two. So peace.